We will get started now. Good morning. I'm Dan Greif. I'm the director of S&O IP at Southeast Asia, and I'm a senior trademark attorney for Southeast Asia as well. And I'm speaking today with SS. She's the head of enforcement at S&O IP Thailand, and she also has responsibility for anti-counterfeiting enforcement for our other countries that we cover in Southeast Asia. So today we're going to be speaking on anti-counterfeiting primarily in Thailand, and we'll touch a little bit generally on other countries in Southeast Asia as well. Next slide, please. If you have any questions, please feel free to submit your questions to mail@sno-ipr.com. We have received a number of questions already, and we will be addressing the questions that we've already received. But if you have any additional questions, please send them to that email address, and we will reply to you separately after the presentation takes place. Next slide, please. Okay, here's the agenda for today's presentation. We're starting with a brief introduction, which we are doing now. I'm going to be talking about the importance of putting together a strong trademark portfolio at the beginning before you are even thinking about an anti-counterfeiting enforcement program. So we're going to touch on creating and registering strong trademarks. We're going to discuss maintaining and enhancing trademarks. We're going to talk about the various Thailand enforcement agencies and which ones we use for various different types of matters, including the customs entity, which is very important in Thailand. Here we are, we talk about the customs recordals. There's a new customs process in Thailand, so we're going to talk about that in some detail. Next, we will talk about anti-counterfeiting strategies in Thailand and the way we go about thinking about enforcing counterfeits and the various different strategies we use. SS will talk about the enforcement statistics in Thailand, showing you the number of raids that have taken place by the various enforcement entities in Thailand. We're going to show 4 separate case studies discussing how different how we work with different enforcement authorities. We will have a quick conclusion, and then we'll do the question and answers after that. Next slide, please. Okay, this is long language about me, but essentially I'm Dan Greif, once again the director of S&O IP Southeast Asia and senior trademark attorney. The most, I guess, significant thing about me is primarily I've been an in-house trademark lawyer most of my career. I was senior trademark counsel for Sony Corporation based in Tokyo, Japan. And then I had the opportunity to be world trademark counsel, worldwide international trademark counsel for the Coca-Cola Company, based in a number of cities around the world. During that time, I traveled to over 100 countries around the world to help clients register, enhance, protect, enforce their intellectual property rights, including dealing with lots of anti-counterfeiting programs in many countries around the world. Next slide, please. SS is the head of our enforcement practice, and she'll be speaking a lot today about enforcement in Thailand. SS is focused almost her entire legal career. First, she's a lawyer in Thailand, but she's focused most of her legal career on investigations and enforcement in Thailand. Before working at S&O IP, she was a lawyer doing enforcement and anti-counterfeiting for another prominent law firm in Thailand. And in addition to helping us in Thailand or leading the enforcement practice in Thailand, she has a very key role in helping with enforcement and anti-counterfeiting in the Mekong countries and in Southeast Asia. Next slide, please. So this is a brief introduction talking about protecting brands in Thailand and what I was saying at the beginning about getting the importance of making sure the trademark portfolio is strong and in place appropriately to assist anti-counterfeiting programs that you have. Next slide, please. So getting trademark applications and registrations in good order. That starts at the very beginning, essentially at the creation of trademarks. You should be assisting clients to create strong trademarks. If you have the opportunity as an in-house counsel, which you usually do as an in-house counsel, or as an outside counsel, you should be assisting clients to be thinking about creating strong trademarks, thinking about creating coined trademarks, arbitrary trademarks, not merely descriptive or generic trademarks. So having a strong trademark at the outset is going to really assist you to protect your trademarks and having a strong anti-counterfeiting program down the road. As part of the trademark portfolio management, of course, once you create the trademarks, you want to do trademark searches to ensure the trademarks are free to use appropriately. In this day and age, many companies are doing sort of knockout trademark searches, and that's fine. But if you're really coming up with a new product, the very important product, a new brand that's going to be very important to the company, my recommendation always is to do a comprehensive trademark search to make certain that that trademark is going to be available. And particularly if you're talking about working for bigger clients, when you're having multi-country propositions and you're going to be applying and registering marks in multi-countries, you need to make sure it's available in all those countries. You can't have a situation where you're working for a major brand owner and their trademarks available in all countries in Asia except for China. That's just not going to work. You should register trademarks broadly. So in other words, register the trademarks to cover all of the goods and services that are applicable to that particular business proposition. You should maintain and renew trademarks. You should review new uses of trademarks and file new trademarks to cover new variations. Clients are oftentimes modifying the word of trademarks. They're adding new designs, new logos, new color combinations, and so forth. You should be helping your clients to be doing periodic reviews of their propositions, their uses of trademarks, and make sure that they're filing new trademarks as appropriate to make sure they have complete coverage. When if you go to the trademark enforcement authorities and you're trying to enforce a counterfeit or stop a counterfeit, and you don't have a trademark registration that covers the actual use by the counterfeiters, the enforcement authorities are oftentimes going to say that they aren't going to assist you. Then you'd have to be relegated to going into civil litigation to try to stop the counterfeit, what you consider a counterfeit, as an infringement. Next point I highlight is keeping up with business with the business developments of clients. Nothing you can do that's more important than to understand the business of your clients. By understanding the business of your clients, you're going to be a better trademark lawyer. You're going to be able to help to develop their trademarks most appropriately and be able to help them stop counterfeits as well. So that's something that as outside counsel we can all do better, is really dive in, really make a deep concerted effort to try to understand the business of clients. Next is just the final sort of point of having a good trademark portfolio in place, good trademark portfolio management. You should proactively protect and enhance the strength of trademarks by having watch services, opposing third-party applications, canceling third-party registrations, sending cease and desist letters, litigating where necessary, getting involved in contentious matters where necessary, but avoid those if possible because they're very expensive. Next, I say record with customs. SS will discuss that in some detail, but that's very important. Customs are a great entity to use because they're stopping the flow of counterfeits into and out of countries, and because they do, in Thailand in particular, they do many ex officio actions, which are very good to stop counterfeits for clients. Next slide, please. So here we talk about registered marks versus unregistered marks. It's very important in Thailand to have your marks registered. There is, under the applicable laws in Thailand, protection probability of protecting unregistered marks and enforcing unregistered marks, but in order to get the enforcement authorities to actually take action, they want to see an actual trademark registration in place. Otherwise, they're not going to be inclined to take action. So, as with most countries, almost all countries, particularly in Southeast Asia, you want to have registered trademarks in place, be able to show the enforcement authorities those actual registrations, and have those actual registrations match up with the counterfeits you're trying to stop. Next slide. Thailand enforcement agencies. There is a large number of enforcement agencies in Thailand. Among the most important of those, and one we use often, is the Department of Special Investigations. It handles large cases, important cases, particularly in cases that involve organized crime, intellectual property infringements. They have a very strong investigative department. One thing about using the Department of Special Investigations, DSI, it needs to be a large case. You have to meet a minimum threshold of at least 140,000 US dollars, or 5 million Thai baht. And that's not always easy to do, but if you can use the Department of Special Investigations in Thailand, that is definitely a way to go, because they're very, very strong entity and very professional at what they do. Next, we often use the Economic Crime Suppression Division. We call it the ECD. They're specialized in economic and financial crimes. They're involved day to day on stopping anti-counterfeiting activities, and they're very active. So we use them very often. Next, in Bangkok in particular, you have the Metropolitan Police Bureau. They're sort of a local law enforcement agency operating under Royal Thai Police. They're responsible for policing and maintaining public order, including addressing intellectual property matters. We do work with them as well, but maybe more for smaller retail operations and so forth. So the two in Thailand, and SS will talk about this more, the two main enforcement entities that we are using sort of on our day-to-day enforcement program, as far as coordinating with, doing investigations and doing raids, are the Department of Special Investigation and Economic Crime Suppression Division. We do use the Metropolitan Police Bureau as well, but if we can, we like to use the DSI and ECD. There is a Consumer Protection Police Division, the CPPD. Its mission is to protect consumer protection with the intent to protect the consumer's health and safety. We find ourselves using that entity less often, but it is there as well. Next slide. Next, there is the Thai Customs Department, and Kuhn SS will talk about that in some detail. As I said, that is an absolutely excellent entity that is doing excellent work in Thailand. They stop the shipping coming in from outside of Thailand and going from Thailand. We work with them very, very closely. If you train them, you develop a very good relationship with them, you will get many ex officio reports where they actually confiscate product and they bring it to your attention, and then we just do verifications. So that is very effective to have an excellent relationship with Thai Customs. We train them across Thailand in many border areas, many other cities besides Bangkok as well. And we have an excellent relationship with Thai Customs. Next, we have the Department of Intellectual Property, DIP. That's where you do your applications and registrations for trademarks, but they also get involved in assisting like the DSI and the Economic Crime Division, Police Division, to do enforcement work as well. And they also do a lot of training of the public, and also do training of landlords to make sure landlords understand about anti-counterfeiting or counterfeiting activity on their premises that should not take place. So the Department of Intellectual Property plays a big leading role as well, and gets involved many times with the other enforcement agencies to help out. Last but definitely not least in this day and age is the Cybercrime Investigation Bureau. They are specialized in technological crimes. They help to do takedown of counterfeit activity online and domain names and so forth. As more and more counterfeit activity has gone online, the Cybercrime Investigation Bureau has become more and more important. Let me just back up a second and just highlight that in Thailand, there is a very comprehensive trademark laws in place, statutes in place, for instance, there's the Trademark Act that protects both unregistered and registered trademarks. And as I said before, you very much want to have your trademarks registered and your copyrights registered because that assists greatly to get the authorities to take action. In addition to the Trademark Act in Thailand, there is a general civil and commercial code which allows for protection under the Civil and Commercial Code. There's the Consumer Protection Act, there's the Drug Act, there's the Industrial Product Standard Act, Computer Crime Act. And on top of all of that, now we have an intellectual property and international trade court that adjudicates intellectual property matters. So in Thailand, there's a very robust set of laws that are in place to help to stop counterfeits. In addition to that, we have an excellent intellectual property court now that is of great assistance to addressing counterfeits and infringements in general enforcement in Thailand. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to SS. We can go to the next slide. And SS will take over now and discuss the customs recordal process in Thailand. And I will be back to make comments later.
Okay, thank you, Khun Dan. Okay, so now I would like to discuss the new custom recordation in Thailand. So Thailand supports custom recordal that assists IP owners to have the trademark protected. As you can see on the slide, it is a new system we call TCIRS, which is a Thai custom IPR recordation systems, which is the e-filing system. So the all custom recordation have to be filed directly to the Thai Custom Department instead of to the Thai Department of IP or DIP. So like the old one, we have to file directly to the DIP, but now we have to file directly to the Thai Custom. So the new system, it will assist the Thai custom officials to work more efficiently, which will include not only the trademark, but also protecting the copyright as well. And for the expirations, the trademark recordations will be valid for 3 years from the date of the recordations or the remaining durations of the trademark registrations, whichever period ends first. So the renewal can be submitted within 30 days of the relevant periods. Okay, so I would like to share you more about the new system for filing custom recordations for trademark and copyright with the Thai customs. So the requirement for custom recordations are the notarized POA. So the notarized POA, which is sufficient for filing the custom recordations, so there is no need to regularize POA. And the second is certified copy of the extract of the trademark registrations and certified copy of the copyright recordations. We can obtain this document from the DIP. And the last one is the authentication guideline between the genuine and counterfeit goods bearing the trademark that you wish to record. So I would suggest you or client to filing the custom recordation with the main class and the main mark. As you can see on the slide, you will see the thaiipr.custom.go.th, which is the e-filing that you have to sign up and create an account to e-filing the required document and fill out the application form. And then you submit to the Thai Custom Department with under this link. And on their portal, they will have a schedule to make appointment with the custom to submit all hard copy all of the document to the custom department for waiting for the custom approval for 2 or 3 days. For the time frame of the custom recordation, normally we will take around 2 weeks for the process to complete. Okay, moving on to the next slide is getting to enforce. Okay, if you want to start enforcement in Thailand, the first thing you have to do is filing a custom regulations. And the second is to develop relationship with the officials. So it is very important to build a strong relationship with the officials. So you have to meeting with officials often. Maybe you can schedule the training in every province in Thailand, not only the main part, but I think you should do every province, like or maybe every month, meeting with the officer, for example, custom or police or the special unit, such as the DSI, that the agency that Daniel have mentioned before. And an important thing is you have to act fast for verifications and join direct action with the officer. Because in Thailand, sometimes the officer will request the agent to join direct action as well. So we have to act fast and collaboration with the officer for future seizures. And you should share information on brands to the officers about register mark that you register with the DIP and share POA that you have a power to enforce. And of course, to tell the officer how to identify the counterfeits and what is the client's business, which product, and because sometimes the product is hard to identify. For example, spirits, cosmetic, or perfume, it is hard to identify which one is counterfeit or genuine. So you have to train the officer to know how to distinguish the counterfeits. And the important thing is you have to share the information that who is the main contact when the counterfeit identified. Okay, next we will see the anti-counterfeiting strategy in Thailand. So you'll see that there are several strategies. This is for the example that I would like to share. So the first one, as I mentioned earlier, to build a good relationship. Meet with clients often and meet with the officer often. You can training officer to know how to identify the counterfeit, right? And also you can have an MOU between the client and agency because MOU it would be to develop a collaboration with an intent to help to protect the IP brand owner and to decrease the counterfeit infringing goods as well and enforce the IP rights. So the officer can share the information that they have to the brand owners and the brand owners can share the information about the source of product and where they're manufacturing the product to the officer as well. And next is market survey. This market survey is very important because the market survey could lead to the key infringer as well and could lead to do the in-depth investigations. So you have to develop, just have a strong investigative team and to do the market survey to observe the visibility of the counterfeit product, whether there is the counterfeit in this market or not, and then you have to provide more citing to the clients. And after you do a survey, you can decide which option do you want to do. You can maybe you can send the C&D letters to the infringers, or maybe you can conduct the reactions. You will see which one is worth to do actions. So after you taking the action, maybe you have to recheck the counterfeits, whether it is stop selling the counterfeit or not, because sometimes there are still repeat infringer, so the infringer should be have a severe penalty. Okay, so the enforce that I already mentioned, maybe you can send C&D letters or to conduct direct actions. And the last one, trainings. As I say, trainings is very important to make the officer to know that the brand is very active and would like to combat the counterfeit to make the brand in present in the officer side, so they will keep monitoring the your brand as well and make up ex-officio rate also. Okay, next slide. Moving on to the main counterfeit market in Thailand. You will see the main market in Bangkok and other provinces as well. So with the reopening of the Thailand after the COVID peak, right, there are infringement activity again in offline markets. So the infringers offer the sale of counterfeits. For example, bags, clothing, sportwear, cosmetics, spare parts, consumers. And this is the list of the market that we should do the survey. And the first one is MBK Shopping Centers, one of the main shopping mall in Bangkok. And it is the one of the reasons for selling the counterfeits that selling a various type of products. And the second is the Platinum Fashion Mall. The Platinum Fashion Mall is the biggest wholesale market, offering the many types of product as well. And Patunam Market is next to the Platinum Fashion Mall. It is the largest wholesale market in Bangkok, sell a variety of products. For instance, clothes, shoes, bag with a wholesale price. And Pat Pong Night Market is a popular for local and tourists. It is also a night market too for selling the various kind of product, especially for counterfeit goods. And the last one, Sampeng Market, is one of the best destination to buy the product at wholesale price, and it is next to the Chinatown we call Yawara. And for the others province, it is the hotspots that we should do the survey as well. Pattaya in Chonburi province and Phuket province, both are the tourist destination. There are a lot of stores and night market offering the counterfeit products. And moving to Longyear Market, we call Alanya Pratet in Sakao province. This is the well-known market. It is located the border between Thailand and Cambodia that had a coverage item of every kind. It has more than 1,000 stores, and this place known as a hotspot of the counterfeit in wholesale distributions. Next is Mae Sai in Chiang Rai province. Mae Sai in Chiang Rai province is located in the northern of Thailand. Sai Lom Joy Market is one of the well-known markets that attract the both tourists and locals as well. And it is next to Tha Khi Lek and Myanmar borders. And the last one is Hat Yai in Songkhla province. Hat Yai in Songkhla province is located in the southern of Thailand next to the Mauritius border. And there are several markets that we would like to suggest to survey. For instance, Kim Yong Market is considered the largest market in Hat Yai, filled with the multi-brand items. Okay, next slide. Let's take a look for the growth and the role e-commerce. As we know that our world has a major change after the COVID-19, right? So it results in increased e-commerce channels and social commerce. So many offline stores switch the sale of counterfeit from their physical store to online shop. This is the example e-commerce site that is very popular in Thailand, Shopee, Lazada, TikTok. Apart from e-commerce site, there are still have social media too, Facebook Live, and Instagram. So what we can do, can we enforce? Yes, of course, we can do it. So the first one, we should take down notice first and collaborate work with the social platform and e-commerce site to take down notice to remove all the infringing listing. So what about if we see that in case we find a potential target, what we should do, right? If we see that there is a large of the counterfeit item at its premise, and we believe that this target is a wholesaler, manufacturer, and importer, we may recommend to test purchase first and to see to get the preliminary information from the seller, namely telephone number, bank account, and information about money transaction. If we talk with the seller we like applications, but for the e-commerce side, we may check the comment and feedback on the Shopee or Lazada whether the product is counterfeit or not from the consumer. And so as this day, you may know that the seller are very clever, right? They did not reveal their identity on the parcel. So what should we do? So the first thing, maybe sometime that if the seller, they will put their telephone number on the parcel, and we can check the telephone number because sometimes telephone number can link to the bank account as well in Thailand. And in this circumstance in Thailand for the complex case, sometimes the infringers they will hire the people to open their bank account. So we need to work with the police as well for assist us to investigations. So if we test purchase and we see that okay, the product is counterfeit, maybe we can to conduct an online search. We will check telephone number on the parcel, name of the sender. Maybe we can research the third party name, the seller name, or maybe we can check whether the target is individual or the company. If it is company, we can check the information on the Department of the Business Development, which is DBD. Also, we can check the background as well. So after we receive the information, we can decide, okay, what is the next step we should do? If it's worth to conduct an in-depth investigations for locate the warehouse, we will coordinate with the police. Maybe we will file a complaint with the police for actions. So for the complex and challenging cases, um, we will require a strong evidence to get the contact detail of the infringers, to get the actual the address, the number address, to getting the search warrant from the IPIT court for actions. So a retail shop or store is not required for a search warrant. They require we require a search warrant for the warehouse, right, and a storage facility. So after the raid action, the police will issue a summons for intellectual property infringement before the police inquiry forward the case to the public prosecutors and for prosecution. Then public prosecutor will submit the case to the IP court. The criminal proceeding will take around 5 to 8 months for getting the court hearings. So this is the procedure in Thailand. Okay. The following slide is the enforcement statistic prepared by the IPR enforcement. You can see that the statistic of the DIP show that the total number of the raid case, and this one is the number of the seizures item in these years is increased when compared with the last years from January to September, which means that the infringement activity has back to normal. Okay, so moving on the case study. This is the raid conducted by the DSI, the Department of Special Investigation. The cooperation with the IP representative. The raid were carried out against 7 targets at the same time. An anonymous investigator they conduct a tape purchase and surveillance the target against the shop in this market in Nakhon Nayok province, and until they found out that this target have a warehouse and they have a warehouse in this market and also opposite of the market as well, about 7 locations. So we learned that this target is the key infringers that sell a product to many online shops, and they are the big supplier as well. Most of the counterfeit goods in this case are imported from the neighboring countries, and they were also illegally imported and avoid paying import fees. So there were over the 300,000 seized items, and the case have a market value more than 120 million Thai baht. So this case will be handled by the SI. Okay, so next is also the case study. This is an example for market strips in the red zone. So following the market survey that we conduct the survey, we decide to choose the target to the client to do the market sweep because the market sweep would be a good to raise awareness to the seller and the seller in other shop that we know that okay, this brand is very serious, very concerned about to combat the counterfeit. So they will stop to selling counterfeit too. And also the market will alert to consumer not to purchase the counterfeit as well. So the market sweep is the good option to do. Okay, next slide. Next slide is a custom seizures. This is the case that we were notified by the Thai custom. This seizures were seized by the custom from the trucks in the Pajinburi province. There were a total of 2,021 seized products under our client's plans. So this is the outcome. It's a good result after we filing a custom recordation and training provided to the officials. So as I said that to get started enforcement in Thailand, we should do the filing custom recordations and second to do the training to raise your band in that side to the officer. So after that, we will get more seizures from the officer. So it will be assisting the officer to recognize the brands. So custom officer will engage us to request for verification, and sometimes they will request the agent to take a photo of the seized product for verification purpose. So after we were contacted by the custom, we have to check whether the product is counterfeit or not, right? So the document that we have to submit with RPOA, certified copy of extract of trademark registrations, and verification letter whether the product is counterfeit or not to confirm and submit to the customs. And the all goods, all these products would be destroyed in the destruction ceremony in an environmental friendly manner in accordance with the TRIPS agreements to ensure that the infringing goods did not re-enter to the market. Okay, for this case study is to send the C&D letter for the market sweep. So to send C&D letter is to request the infringer to stop its infringing activity, right? And to comply with our demand. If the infringers fail to comply with our request, we may consider to filing a lawsuit. Or maybe we can choose a strong approach by deliver C&D letter against the infringer by accompanying with the police. We can do that. This approach has a solid way to warn the infringers that to immediately stop or further infringement. So we believe the infringer would comply our demand and stop its infringing activities. So deliver C&D with the police is 90% effective and successful as the infringer is affected of these actions. The infringer will immediately stop selling the counterfeit, and we may request them to sign undertaking or so to confirm that the infringer will discontinue to illegal activities. Therefore, I suggest the first pursuing the C&D letter and criminal rate action and consider later or possible civil action. Okay, so next slide will be a conclusion present by Kun Dan.
Thank you, SS, for your excellent comments and your excellent presentation. Very informative indeed. I'm just going to jump in again. This is Dan back with a few conclusion comments. As far as the anti-counterfeiting program, one of the most important things is to be vigilant. Successful anti-counterfeiting requires constant action. We need to be constantly working to identify counterfeits and identify counterfeiters. The bad guys are always out there. The bad guys are always awake. The bad guys are always working. We need to be working very strongly and constantly and on top of things. One thing our firm is sort of known for is being very proactive. We don't just wait for clients to come to us and report to us that they've found a counterfeit product or somebody in their organization has found a counterfeit product. We are out there working for our clients, doing surveys constantly. We have what we call the city program, where we are constantly doing investigations, surveys, sending cease and desist letters, having raids conducted, meeting with the officials constantly, discussing with the officials constantly, doing trainings, etc. We meet with the landlords. We constantly are educating people and educating the the enforcement entities. So being vigilant, being out there in the markets, looking for the counterfeits constantly is extremely important. You can never just sort of sit back and wait for the counterfeits to happen and then address them. It's much better to be proactive and be addressing them at all times, always. Getting back to my presentation sort of at the beginning, talking about trademark portfolio management, that's very important. Always continue to enhance the trademarks and expand registrations and customs recordals as necessary. So once again, that means watching what the your client is doing as far as expanding the scope of its trademark, modifying the actual word marks, perhaps adding additional words to the primary brand, adding a different look and feel to it, adding a design element, a logo element, modifying the colors. Any kind of modification needs to be addressed with portfolio management at the trademark office as well. Continuously build relationships with officials. That can't be highlighted enough. Having a close relationship and constant relationship and a good working relationship with the various authorities, the DSI, Economic Crime Police, the Metropolitan Police in Bangkok and around the country in Thailand is extremely important. As I said earlier, we're very lucky to have someone like SS and other people on our team who work very closely with the enforcement authorities constantly on a day-to-day basis. And this really assists to make our program very effective and get good results. Once again, another sort of something that we don't necessarily think about when we're being an enforcement and investigative kind of law firm. It's very important to constantly learn about the business and brands of the clients, understand what their business is all about, understand their channels of trade, where their products are being sold, how their products are being sold, what modifications are taking place in their business. Understanding that is going to help you to set up your investigative strategies even better, understand how to address where the counterfeiters may be, understand how to address counterfeiting of your products, of your client's products. So being close to the business, being close to the lawyers that you're working with inside of companies and trying to and understanding their business is extremely important. Last, I say here, make suggestions to clients on what they can do to enhance their trademark portfolios and to stop counterfeits. The in-house anti-counterfeiting teams are obviously excellent, and they have the best and most keen understanding of their company's business aspects and their counterfeiting challenges. But as outside counsels, we can also bring a lot to the table to help address their counterfeits and make suggestions to the clients as to how to modify their programs and so forth. So those are just sort of some points in conclusion to go along with the very detailed and excellent presentation that SS made. Now we will jump into some questions. So SS, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so we received some questions. We're going to go ahead and answer those questions. I will address two questions I have here first, and then I'll turn it back over to SS to answer the remaining questions that we received in advance, which is 3 additional questions. And then I will leave it to Kun SS to sign off and say goodbye to you and thank you for joining us today. The first question that we received is the following. It says, you discussed a multi-action monthly program where you send cease and desist letters, conduct surveys, conduct raids, do trainings, educate landlords, have memorandums of understanding signed, etc. Does this process work, as most brand owners primarily want to raid manufacturers and large warehouses to get large numbers of counterfeits in one go? The answer is yes. This process, sort of this city program we call it, or this sort of multifaceted enforcement anti-counterfeiting program that we put in place does indeed work. The consistent ongoing actions incrementally result in fewer and fewer counterfeits every month until the numbers eventually decrease greatly. Also, these monthly programs assist to get upstream intelligence on manufacturers and large warehouses, and thus we are at times able to get comprehensive intelligence on the manufacturers and warehouses and to conduct raids on them. So we do hear a lot, we do get pushed from clients a lot of brand owners where they say, well, we want to get primarily warehouses and we primarily want to get manufacturers, and we understand that and we do that. And we spend a lot of time investigating to get that upstream information to enforce against the warehouses and manufacturers. But the monthly sort of city programs where you're doing a comprehensive across the board process does work as well. What we do, in addition to doing all those activities, at the end of each month, we give, or some clients do it bi-monthly, we give a very comprehensive report showing what we've done every month. And we give a comprehensive report will include the actual statistics showing how many counterfeits are taking place, where the counterfeits are taking place, and so forth. So clients are able to actually see the decrease in the counterfeiting activity that's taking place over time. So, and without exception, over time, these city programs do work and they do result in a reduction in counterfeits. So we do find that process to be very effective. Question 2 for me, once again, is it possible to record copyrighted works with customs? The answer is yes, indeed. Under the new system in Thailand, copyrights recorded with the Copyright Office can indeed be recorded with customs, and it's very important to do so, particularly for copyrighted works that are being counterfeited. We have some luxury brand products that we have actual copyrights for the design of their purses, for lack of a better word. And we have those registered as copyrights, and we do take those copyright recordations with the Copyright Office to the enforcement authorities, and they do help us to enforce those copyrights. So having copyrights in place at the Copyright Office and having them recorded with customs is a very effective strategy as well. In our presentation today, we didn't talk too much about copyrights, but copyrights are another form of intellectual property, of course, that can be used to stop counterfeiters, and we do that very effectively as well. So the answer is, once again, the question was, is it possible to record copyrighted works with customs? The answer is the new system allows copyright owners to record copyrights with customs, and the copyright recordations are valid for 3 years from the date of the customs recordation or the remaining duration of the copyright recordations at the Copyright Office, whichever period ends first. Thus, for important copyrighted works that are subject to counterfeiting activity, we strongly suggest recordation at the Thai Copyright Office and recordation with customs. So with that, I will turn it over to SS to answer the further 3 questions that we have. And I will say goodbye and thank you very much, and leave it to SS to answer the final questions and to say the final goodbye. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you, Khun Dan. So next question is, what is the maximum penalty for trademark infringement in Thailand? According to the Thai Trademark Act, 4-year imprisonment and to pay fine of 400,000 Thai baht, approximately 11,000 USD dollar or both. So it's depending on the court decisions. Okay. For the next questions is, as there are several Thai enforcement agencies in Thailand, which entity should we approach first if we find a potential infringers? Okay, it's good questions. It's depending on a case by case, so that which entity that we meet officials and do training with. If we see that the target has a volume of counterfeit product with a market value about 5 million Thai baht, and it is a large case, we will let the DSI handle this matter for investigation and rate actions that Daniel has mentioned before. And however, we also recommend the ECD police or EP police and may and Metropolitan Police, both of which are very active and very quickly. They act very fast. So if the case is in province, ECD is a good options. And if the target is in Bangkok or in Bangkok area, we may choose Metropolitan Police depending on the officers' availability and workload as well. So ECD police are specialized in IP matters, so they have a authority jurisdiction throughout Thailand. Okay, so last questions is how do we cooperate with the officials on enforcement matters? Mm, Criminal enforcement can be initiated by the officers and by the branch owner or the agents. For the official rate case conducted by the officer, right? We can do jaw the rate if the officers request us as a witness. However, after the officer sees the products and prepare an arrest, records and confiscations list, they would ask the agent to contact the brands or the band that they would like to proceed these matters or not, would like to take an actions on us. So we need to provide the officer with a notarized POA with its suspicions and certified copy of the extract of the trademark registrations and to confirm that deceased product is a counterfeit. Then the police inquiry, they will gathering all evidence and prepare a written statement prepared by them. And we are interrogate as a witness for the verification of the seized products on behalf of the brands. So the police, they will happier take action against the mark that have registered with the DIP. And the agent or the brand owner can provide the notarized POA and submit it to the police inquiry afterward. So then the police inquiry, they will send the case to the public prosecutor for prosecutions. Okay, so thank you for your time today for joining our seminar. I hopefully that you will receive the inside information and will understand more about the situation in Thailand and about anti-counterfeiting in Thailand. Have a great day. Thank you.